Hey guys, Spartan here, and welcome to a thing. This isn't an old video, this is me reviewing all of the Saviours of Uldum. That is the name of the expansion, right? Yeah, of course, it says so right here in the title. Yeah, I'm going to be reviewing all of these cards, so if you are not interested in Hearthstone at all, probably skip this video, but, and again, I don't care about that. So yes, I'll be reviewing these cards in two ways. I'll be reviewing them in Standard and in Wild, because sometimes cards have uses in one format, and zero uses in another. So let's start. Worthy Expedition. Discover or choose one card for just one mana. This probably will see play in Standard with the Druid Quest, which we'll go over the Druid Quest a bit later when it shows up here, because this is sorted in a weird way that the quests don't appear first, despite the fact they're one mana as well. But yeah, just discovering a choose one card for one mana is pretty good. I mean, Raven Idol saw play, and it was just discover either a spell or a minion. So, yeah, being able to discover specifically a choose one spell or minion is pretty good. In Wild, you can maybe use this with Gadget Zen Auctioneer to buy a bunch of, well, not buy, just draw a bunch of cards for your Jade Druid, because people still run that for some reason. Bees! Choose a minion, summon 4 1/1 bees that attack it. These bees are affected by buffs, such as with the wolf thing, the Direwolf Alpha, or Raid Leader, or whatever. The main use that this card is most likely going to see is, well, actually, this is a pretty good card in general, because it's like a Shadow Bolt for Druid. And the main synergy with this card is to use it with Line Cracker, which is the 7 mana 5/10 overkill, get double its attack. So if you summon Line Cracker and get it to survive a turn with some reason, and then use bees on it, it'll go from 5 to 10 to 20 to 40, and then to 80. So you'll be getting an 80 damage minion on the board. The only downside is that there's no way to really keep it alive. If your opponent sees you playing Line Cracker, they're of course going to absolutely annihilate Uranus. But in Wild, there is a thing called a Finicky Cloak Field, which is a spare part you can get off of mechs, which generate spare parts. And if you can give Linecracker stealth, there's a good chance you're going to be able to kill your opponent next turn with bees. And this is the bee token, it's just a 1 mana 1/1 beast. No effect. Oasis Surger, it's an elemental, 5 mana 3/3. It's hard to get this all on screen because these cards are so big. But yes, Rush, and then choose one, gain +2/+2, or summon a copy of this minion. Of course, synergy with the quest, which makes your choose one cards choose both effects, which means you get 5 mana 10/10 with Rush of stats, which is pretty good. It reminds me of the Crystal Horn Stag from the last expansion. So, this card may see play only if the quest sees play, but from what I've seen, the quest won't see play. So, yeah. And in Wilds, there are just much... Actually, no. In Wild, this card may see more play, because Fandral Staghelm is a 4 mana card, which you can just play the prior turn, and then turn 5 you can just summon these guys and just kill. And these are just the effects you get. Garden Gnome. 4 mana 2/3, Battle Cry. If your opponent's neighbor's dogs are barking, then end the stream. This isn't a stream, it's just recording anyway. If you're holding a spell that costs 5 or more, summon 2/2 Treants. So it's a 4 mana 6/7, so it means it's absolutely not going to see any play at all. Jokes aside, Token Druid is a pretty good archetype, and the question that has been brought up is running Garden Gnome and cards like spells that cost 5 or more worth it? Because Token Druid runs one spell that costs 5 or more, and that is the Forest Aid, which is the 8 mana twin spell, summon 5 2/2 Treants. Now, I have the feeling that this card is going to be so much of a tempo swing, because it summons it across 3 bodies, that Druids are going to start running the old Force of Nature, which is the 5 mana summon 3 2/2 Treants, which is worse than this card if this card gets its effect off. But yeah, I feel like that's going to happen, and this card is going to see a lot of play, and we're going to get sick of it really quickly, because everyone knows Savage Roar is a thing. And these are the Treant tokens. They look different than the other Treants. Hidden Oasis, choose one, summon a 6/6 Ancient with Taunt, or restore 12 health for 6 mana. This is another one of those cards that boils down to, will the quest see play? Don't think so. And Hidden Oasis summons a big minion with Taunt, which is... It's going to be kind of problematic next expansion to have Taunt, for a reason I'll bring up in the future. I don't think Hidden Oasis is going to see much play, or it's not going to, like, push the quest to tier 1 or anything. And that's the thing, it's a tree. It doesn't have a trident tag, of course. I don't know why they, Oh yeah, now I understand. Overflow. 7 mana, restore 5 health to all characters, draw 5 cards. The question is this good enough to be put in a Druid deck? Because Druid already has a lot of draw. I honestly don't think so. It is, of course, comparable to Ultimate Infestation, how it draws 5 cards, but Ultimate Infestation also immediately impacts the board with 5 damage. It summons a 5/5, and it gives you a bit of armor, so... I have a feeling that this card will never see many play in Wild. It may see a tiny amount of play in Standard just for the draw 5 cards. And that's restore 5 health to all characters, including your opponents, so yes. Crystal Merchant, this is some synergy with the quest. If you have any unspent mana at the end of your turn, draw a card. 2 mana, 1/4. The quest requires you to have unspent mana at the end of your turn 4 times in order to get the reward. So, what is this card really? It's Mana Tide Totem. That's pretty much all this is. It's Mana Tide Totem for Druid, because it costs 3 mana, effectively, and it has +1/+1, and it requires 1 extra mana every turn, so... Yes, that's pretty much it. Nuba South Defender, Taunt costs 0 if you cast a spell that costs 5 or more this turn. This is reminiscent of the old Arcane Tyrant, which is a 5 mana 4/4 elemental that has the exact same effect. This has Taunt, so this may see more play in Wild. I mean, Arcane Tyrant still sees play in Wild. I forgot to mention, this card will, of course, only see play if the quest sees plays, and I don't see it seeing play. It just doesn't have enough stats. This card will probably see wet play in Wild. Like, it may even be included in every single Druid deck, because the Druid runs Arcane Tyrant because they cast Ultimate Infestation, and then they want to kind of empty their hands so they don't overdraw. That could be included as well. At least the Enlightened insert Fedora here. 5 mana 5/5 as the other release is, but not the first one. Battlecry, if your deck has no duplicates, duplicate your hand. This has a lot of great synergy with some certain cards that would... I mean, it already has synergy with Flabinginous Floop, Moonfire, Swipe, just basically all cards you just need in order to get OTK combos off. Plus, it's just good to have extra good cards, and there is a certain card in this set that we will see that may make this card worth running, not wanting. That doesn't make any sense. So, will it see play? Maybe, if Druid is good, but Druid isn't currently that good apart from Token, which, of course, wouldn't run this card in it because you need duplicates of all your good cards. And here's the quest. I've already explained it already. It gives you the, or choose one card to have both effects combined. Probably won't see much play. Some play, but it won't be tier 1 or anything. Pressure Plate. After your opponent casts a spell, destroy a random enemy minion. This is actually really good. Deadly Shot sees play in plenty of, decks. But this is also combo disruption, because, say, if your opponent is doing like a weird OTK spell-driven combo and they require a minion on the board, plus this secret cannot trigger if your opponent does not have a minion. So if your opponent plays, like, say, Archmage Antonidas and then uses a spell to start off an infinite combo, Pressure Plate is most likely going to kill Antonidas, therefore rendering your opponent's combo completely fucking useless. So this card will most likely see a lot of play. I mean, it's a 2-mana destroy a random enemy minion. It's really good. As its Spear, after your hero attacks, summon a 1/1 Locust with Rush. 3 mana 1/3, which is absolute garbage, but you get a 1/1 with Rush every time you attack. Plus, this synergizes with the Hunter Quest, which is, well, the requirement is to summon 20 minions. This counts as 3 of them, so that's pretty good. I actually forgot what the... Oh wait, no. I remember what the Hunter quest reward is. It's actually pretty good, so it may see some play. The only downside is that it would have to be like a mid-range deck, because Control can't really out-control currently Control Warrior, which is just really, really good. So, in some ways, this may see play. At any rate, it's 3 mana for like a 4/7 in value, kind of, and Rush is pretty important. And that's what the token looks like. Hunter's Pack, add a random Hunter Beast, Secret, and Weapon to your hand. This is actually pretty good considering the fact that Hunter doesn't have many weapons, which means that you have a good chance of getting a high-quality weapon. The weapons Hunter currently has in Standard are the 2/2 Axe that gains +1 durability when you have a Beast. It has Eaglehorn Bow, which is a 3/2, which gains 1 durability when you have a secret revealed, which this does add to your hand, so you get some synergy. It has the weapon we just reviewed, don't need to talk about that anymore. And it has Gladiator's Longbow, which is a 7 mana 5/2 with immune while attacking, which is, if you're in top deck mode and you draw Hunter's Pack and it generates you Gladiator's Longbow, you're most likely going to recover and quite possibly going to win the game, because if your opponent does not taunt, Gladiator's Longbow is effectively a Pyroblast to the face. So, yeah, it's pretty good. Most likely we'll see play, and if not in Standard, then in Wild, because, granted, they already have Master's Call, which draws 3 cards, which are specifically beasts, but this generates more than just minions. And secrets can be really important, especially when your opponent can't play around them. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce the name of this card. 5 mana, no, not 5 mana, 3 mana, 4/3, Battlecry, copy a random beast in your hand. This is just generally good, even if it copies like a shitty 1/1. It's got good stats, it's a very aggressive. If it copies like Savannah Highmane, you're in really good position. I don't even need to explain how this thing can create like super really powerful combos with some of the other cards revealed. This card will just see play a lot. This is like a 4-star card at minimum. So yeah, it's pretty good. Hyena Alpha, Battlecry, if you control a secret, summon 2/2 hyenas. So it's a 4 mana 7/7 for Hunter. It's not a Shaman card though, so it'll see no play. All jokes aside, this is actually a really good card, because having a secret isn't that hard to do, especially in Wild. This card is going to see a lot of play, and it has synergy with Scavenging Hyena, because you can kill off these 3, and Scavenging Hyena will gain an extra 6/3, making it an 8/5, so yes, really good. And these are the tokens, hooray. Swarm of Locusts, summon 7 1/1 Locusts with Rush. This card is specifically made so you can complete the quest, because that's over a third of the quota for the quest done in one card. And it has synergy with the reward of the quest. The reward of the quest is a 2 mana hero power, all the quest rewards are hero powers by the way, which makes it so that when you activate it, all your minions gain +2 attack, and not just for the turn, it's permanent. So, if you activate this, complete the quest, and you have 2 mana remaining, you can activate that, and you have 7 3/1 Locusts with Rush. Most likely will clear the board, and if it doesn't clear the board, then it still gets you in a really good position to win. So, if Hunter sees play, the big if, considering the fact that Control Warrior is really good. Scarlet Web Weaver, Battlecry, reduce the cost of random beast in your hand by 5. Can you say OP as fuck? This card is going to be really annoying, really badly. Name 1 beast they want to clone. King Crush. So you reduce the cost of King Crush and use the other minion that we saw earlier, this one, to then clone it, and you have 2 4 mana 8/8s with charge that can go just waste your opponent away. This card is crazy good. Of course, it'll see play in Wild. Wonder if it can. I mean, Hunter's having that much burst may actually let you beat Control Warrior, so Hunter may get up there. Wild's Bloodstinger, this card is actually really good as well. It's a 6 mana 6/9, so lol 69. Battlecry, summon a minion from your opponent's hand, attack it. Now, the reason Dirty Rat was good is because it disrupted combos, and this also disrupts combos, specifically with attacking the minion that it summoned. Unless you pull something that is really hard to kill, like a Burly Shovel Fist or Moonbound Colossus or some shit like that, Prophet Valen or something, you're most likely just going to kill whatever you summon. And Dirty Rat was good even if you had to use like a Shadow Word Death or a Assassinate or something to kill whatever minion you pulled. So yep, Wild Bloodstinger, pretty good card, and it's a beast, so yeah. And if your opponent doesn't have any minions, it's still 6 mana, 6/9. Dinotamer Brand, 7 mana, 2/4, so absolute garbage. If your deck has no duplicates, summon King Crush. King Crush is, of course, 9 mana, 8/8 that I discussed earlier. Does it post up? No, it doesn't. Okay. This has synergy with Bran Bronzebeard in Wild, so you could use Bran with Dinotamer Bran, and you can get 2 King Crushes, but there are probably much better ways to do this. Because that combo is kind of inconsistent due to 2 things. One, you have to be running no duplicates, so you cannot run like extra searching cards to get these off. And 2, the only actual card that pulls specifically a minion from your deck, well, actually no, there's 2 of those. There's Master's Call, but you probably don't want to be playing because it requires Beast Synergy, and Stitch Tracker. Stitch Tracker is generally the better choice, but you only have one of them in your deck to pull one of these cards, so what's your problem, man? Unseal the Vault. Quest. Summon 20 minions. Reward this that we have discussed before. I honestly don't think it'll see much play because of Control Warrior being too strong, but you never know. This has potential. Ancient Mysteries. 2 mana. Draw a secret from your deck. It costs 0. This is just Mad Scientist, but without a minion. It's really good. 5 stars. Flame Ward, after a minion attacks your hero, deal 3 damage to all enemy minions. So it's like Explosive Trap, except it doesn't go off immediately. It goes off after you take damage. Will this see play? Most likely. 3 damage is enough to kill aggro things. Because people say Explosive Trap is good at killing aggro, but one of the main aggro decks you will see in Wild specifically is Pirates. And Pirate has South Sea Captain, which is a 3 mana 3/3. This will kill South Sea Captain and any minions that it buffs with the 1/1 effect. So, yeah, this is better than it, plus Mage has more secret synergy, which we'll be seeing a lot of. Cloud Prince, 5 mana 4/4, Battlecry, if you control secret, deal 6 damage. This card is going to be very annoying in Wild. Most likely will not see too much play in Standard due to the fact there aren't too many powerful secrets. Plus, we just got SI7 Infiltrator, so if Secret Mage does see play in Standard, then people will just start taking those in, and Cloud Prince will be absolute garbage. However, you cannot take against things in Wild, so in Wild it'll be stronger. Arcane Flak Mage, after you play Secret, deal 2 damage to all enemy minions. So basically, after you play a Secret, cast Consecration, and, yeah. So, this card may seem a bit slow because it's like 5 mana for a 5 mana for a 3/2 that deals 2 damage to all enemy minions. That seems really bad until you realize that you don't actually have to play the secret that you draw with Ancient Mysteries immediately. You can, like, coin this out and then turn 2 and play this piece of shit and then nuke your opponent's board. It's really good. Dune Sculptor. After you cast a spell, add a random mage minion to your hand. There's a deck currently in Standard called Cyclone Mage, which requires you to play maybe 5 or so spells at the same turn, then play Mana Cyclone, which fills your hand with random spells. You can play this beforehand, then cast a bunch of spells, add a bunch of random mage minions to your hand, and it's pretty much an inverse Mana Cyclone. And they're mage minions. Mage minions are actually really good. You can get, like, Caligos, Antonidas, really crazy stuff like that. This card most likely will see play, considering the fact it's a minion, and it can be played in Giant's Mage. Naga Sandwich, very tasty. 5 mana 5/5, change the cost of spells in your hand to 5. So basically, 10 mana 5/5, Battlecry, deal 10 damage, because it's going to cast a Pyroblast. Yeah, this card is a finishing combo thing. Probably not going to be played in Big Spell Mage. Well, actually, it may see some play in Big Spell Mage in Wild, because that is a deck that still sometimes sees play. Probably not, though. Tortolan Pilgrim. 8 mana 5/5, Battlecry, discover a copy of a spell in your deck, and deal 4 damage to all cast it with random targets. Yeah. I'm pretty sure you know what's going to happen with this thing. You're going to either cast Puzzle Box of Yogg-Saron, you're going to cast Power of Creation, summon 6 drops, or you're going to cast Flame Strike. It's pretty good. Probably, you know what? All the value that Mage has means that they probably will be able to take down Control Warrior, so Tortolan Pilgrim may easily be the card that elevates Mage above Warrior this expansion. Puzzle Box of Yogg-Saron, cast 10 random spells. This card is so unpredictable you can't rate it. 0 stars. Reno the Relicologist. Battle Cry. If your deck has no duplicates, save the best for last. AKA deal 10 damage, randomly split among all enemy minions. It's garbage. Don't play it. Raid the Sky Temple. Quest. Cast 10 spells. Reward. Ascendant Scroll. What does it do? Add a random mage spell to your hand. Costs 2 less. It's Primordial Glyph at random. Primordial Glyph, of course, sees play in literally every single mage deck ever, apart from Giant's Mage, because that's a standard deck. This will see play easily. I have nothing else to say. It gives you a reward that synergizes with the other quest, Open the Waygate. You can have both of them in your deck. So, yep, this card is pretty good. Probably not yet. Sandwasp Queen, add 2/1 Sandwasps to your hand. It's a Battle Cry, 2 mana, 3/1. Nah, this card won't see play. It's value, but it's not good value. Subdue, set a minion's attack and health to 1. Remember Dark Conviction? It was a 2-cost, set a minion's attack and health to 3. That card didn't see play, but this card is much better because it sets a minion's attack and health to 1. It is purely aggressive when Dark Conviction could be used aggressively, like, to buff your own minions. This card will most likely see play, if some of my predictions are correct. Ancestral Guardian, 4 mana, 4/2, Lifesteal Reborn. This card is pretty good. There's very few times where this will not generate you at least 4 health, and it's pretty decent in itself. It's Reborn, so it's synergy with the Paladin quest. Yeah, it might see play. Brazen Zealot. Whenever you summon a minion, gain +1 attack. This card is specifically for Wild. You're going to play this turn 1 in Odd Paladin, and turn 2 you're going to activate your hero power, you're going to summon 2 minions. This card's going to be a 1 mana 4/1. Remember the jokes about using BGH on a 1 mana minion? Yeah, that's kind of true. This card is going to be like... It's like Tunnel Trog. It's going to get out of control very quickly, so... better prep in those backstabs, you're going to need them. Alex Pride, Death Rattle, draw 2 1-health minions from your deck. So Crystology sees a lot of play. It's the 1 mana, draw 2 1, like, attack minions from your deck. This draws 1 health minions though. It's kind of the same if you're going to be using it for 1 mana 1/1s, but there are minions that you may want to draw that have 1 health. Steel Rager, for instance. Steel Rager is still a pretty good card. It's a 4 mana 5/1 with Rush. It is a nice curve if this thing dies. So, yeah, it may be pretty good. Plus, it has synergy in Wild. It is an odd card, of course, so Odd Paladin is a thing. And it has synergy with Steward of Darkshire, which, whenever you summon a 1-health minion, you give it Divine Shield. So, if you coin out either this thing or Steward of Darkshire, play this thing or the other one, then this thing dies, you can summon Steel Rager, it'll be a 4 mana 5/1 Rush Divine Shield. Is that good? Yes, it's honestly really good. Of course you can't do that in Odd Paladin. Pharaoh's Blessing, give a minion +4/+4, Divine Shield and Taunt. So, people say this card is overcosted. I like to compare it to Argent Commander, if that's the card I'm thinking of. 6 mana 4/2 Divine Shield Charge. So, this is essentially that. If you have a minion on the board, you gain 4 damage, you gain Divine Shield, your minion can attack immediately, and it even gives it Taunt and more health. Will this card see play in Constructed? The answer to that is a gritty, in-your-face no. This card is an arena card, specifically. It's not as good as Spike Rigid Steed either, so it won't see play in Wild. It's also not an odd card. Micromai, Reborn. At the end of your turn, give another random friendly minion +1 attack. This is specifically used for the Paladin quest and no other reason. Don't need to discuss it. Tip the scales. Summon 7 Murlocs from your deck. This card is actually really good. More specifically for the fact that you can use it with Crystallic Lens, if that is the name of the card that I'm remembering. The 4 mana spell that draws a minion and a spell from your deck and swaps their cost. If you're playing a bunch of shitty low-cost Murlocs, and you draw this and that with Crystallic Lens... No, it's Prismatic Lens, that's the name of the card. Prismatic Lens. then you're going to get a really cheap tip the scales, which you can use to snowball the game really early, and then you can finish them off with anything can happen, which will just summon them right back. In fact, these are the Murlocs from anything can happen if you look closely. So, Finley of the Sands, Battlecry, if your deck has no duplicates, discover an upgraded hero power. So, let's compare this to Baku the Moon Eater. Baku the Moon Eater is used for Odd Rogue, not Odd Rogue, Odd Paladin, specifically because it happens immediately. The problem with Sir Finley of the Sands is that you're going to need to mulligan into it, otherwise it doesn't do shit fast enough. However, if you do get this card on turn 2, or even turn 1 maybe, because you have an upgraded hero power, which you may want to use with the coin, this card is going to be really good in certain decks. But Paladin still would prefer its normal hero power just to be upgraded. There's a reason Odd Paladin is so good. Making mummies is the quest. Play 5 reborn minions. The reward is Emperor Raps, which is a 2-mana hero power, as all of them pretty much are. Summon a 2/2 copy of a friendly minion. Now, this is very much reeking of Priest. This quest would have been much better in Priest, but Priest has a pretty good quest anyway. The problem with this card is that there aren't many good cards you want to create a copy of. Like, what you would want to create a copy of is something with a strong death rattle. What does Paladin have with a strong death rattle? Mechano Egg. Now, unless you can actually give Mechano Egg taunt with, like, Ziliax or some shit, Emperor Raps really isn't going to be doing that much, because your opponent will most likely just ignore the egg, and they'll deal with the big Robo Sword that it summons when it dies later. Plus, if Priest sees any play, which, believe me, Priest is going to see a lot of play, they have plenty of silence effects, and their spell Curse of Death is going to pretty much obliterate your field. So, most likely will not see play. Bone Ritual, give a minion reborn. Don't think I've explained what Reborn does. It's basically Death Rattle, resummon this minion with 1 health. It's like Ancestral Spirit, except worse. But it does cost 1, so it can be played for free with Radiant Elemental in a, Miracle Priest with Lyre of the Sun Shard, which, people do that sometimes. It's a decent card. Finance, this card is actually really good. Lifesteal, deal 3 damage to a minion. A lot of people don't realize that this card has synergy with Prophet Valen. Now, what does Prophet Valen do? It doubles the healing and damage of your spells and hero power. More specifically, how this works with Lifesteal is really well, because it's going to double the spell's damage to deal 6 damage to a minion, and then it's going to double that you heal through Lifesteal, so that you're going to have a spell, a 2-mana spell that deals 6 damage to a minion and heals your face for 12. That is really good, and considering Prophet Valen sees play in plenty of Priest decks, expect to see this card pull a Priest out of the fire plenty of times. Sandhoof Waterbearer, 5-mana 5/5 at the end of your turn, restore 5 health to a damage-friendly character. It's like Lightwell, except it actually has a decent body, and it can heal itself, so this is definitely an arena card, may see play in Constructed. Just don't, leave your Organized Soul Priest on the field. I would also prefer if this minion had, healed at the start of your turn instead of the end. Grand Mummy, Reborn. Death Rattle, give a random friendly minion +1/+1. So, considering the fact that this will die twice, it is a 2-mana 3/4 in stats. So, yeah, it's pretty good. And it has Death Rattle. So this card has synergy with the old Priest quest, because this card is going to be summoned twice with Death Rattle, meaning this one card counts for 2 procs of the Priest quest, and only takes 2 mana. That's really good. This card will definitely see play in Wild. Holy Ripple, 2 mana, deal 1 damage to all enemies, restore 1 health to all friendly characters. So, it's like Holy Nova, except it's half. Decently works with spell damage. There's not really much I can say about this. It may see play with Malygos, in fact, because if you play Zarek's Cloning Gallery, which is the, of course, summon 1/1 copies of all minions in your deck, or as many as you can, and you bring out Malygos, and you don't even need Prophet Valen. bring up Malagos and Radiant Elemental in Wild, then this is 1 mana, and you can deal 6 damage to all enemies, but still only restore 1. That's still a 6 mana board clear, and it fills your board, which is pretty good. This card may see play. Priest already does that with Spirit Lash, which hits your own minions. It heals you for a hell of a lot more, though. But sometimes you don't want to kill your own minions. Wretched Reclaimer, Battlecry, destroy a friendly minion, then return it to life with full health. Do you smell Reborn abuse? That's what I smell. Yeah, this card may see play, but really, you need a card with a good Death Rattle on too. Which, I mean, they kind of have. If you use it on Grand Mummy, then it's going to return to life. I don't know if resummoning a minion with Reborn gives it back its Reborn. I'm not sure. I'm fairly certain it does. So you play Grand Mummy on 2, Wretched Reclaimer is, like, on 3, you smash the mummy, but I guess that would work better if you had a 1-mana minion to be buffed by the first proc of Grand Mummy, but yeah, you probably want to play the quest. Psychopomp, 4 mana, 3/1, Battlecry, summon a random friendly minion that died this game, give it Reborn. This card is batshit crazy. Big Priest will not use this card, however, because it will dilute the grave, which is I'm thankful for. If they gave this effect to a spell, I would have been fuming. But yes, you can use this with the quest, because in the quest you don't really need to be playing very low-cost minions. And Psychopumping a... Let's see, what's a good minion in Standard that you can use this on? I'm not really sure. I don't play Standard much, so I don't take note of these things. But in Wild you have shit like Stoneskin Basilisk, for example. 4 mana 3/1 Battlecry, summon a 1/1 with Poisonous and Divine Shield, Death Rattle, resummon this minion once. That's crazy good! Like, how can people think this card won't see play? And the Priest quest just elevates this card to godhood, so... The 5-star card, of course. Plague of Death, silence and destroy all minions. It destroys everything. It gets rid of the board. That's all you need to know. It's like Psychic Scream, except it doesn't shuffle them back into your opponent's deck so you can win Fatigue Game. Pretty good. High Priest Amet. Whenever you summon a minion, set its health equal to this minion's. Most people are going to see this card as a card that you use with Stone Tusk Boar, and then Divine Shield, no, not Divine Shield, Divine Spirit, Inner Fire, go face, win the game. This card has some synergy with another card, which is a 5 mana 3/3 Battlecry, double this minion's health. And combined with this card, it's a 5 mana 3/14 Taunt. Which is pretty good. This card may see play if some weird degenerate combo comes out that I'm not thinking of. And it does have synergy with Star Aligner if we have to stretch. But, you know, what are the odds Star Aligner is going to be used in Priest? Activate the Obelisk. Quest, restore 15 health. That is 15 health anywhere, by the way. Reward is Obelisk's Eye, which is a 2 mana hero power, restore 3 health. If you target a minion, also give it +3/+3. Oh my god, this card is crazy. I have nothing else to say. This card is batshit insane. To compare it to the upgraded hero power with Baku, which was just restore 4 health, this is one worse, but it gives a minion +3/+3, and you can complete this quest very, very easily, especially in Wild when you have cards like Mistress of Mixtures, which restores 4 health to each hero. Granted, your heroes have to be damaged, but Priest has cards that do that, so yeah, pretty good. Barrowcat, 1 mana 1/2 Battlecry, add a random Reborn minion to your hand. I am frankly not impressed with most of the Reborn minions, but this is a 1 mana 1/2. It's like Swashbuckler. You play it because it's a 1 mana card. That's pretty much it. Clever Disguise, add 2 random spells from another class to your hand. This has synergy with the quest. I will go over it once I reach the quest. Hooked Scimitar, 3 mana 2/2 combo, gain 2 attack. This is garbage, don't play it. Plague of Madness, each player equips a 2/2 knife with Poisonous. So basically, you obviously want to play this turn 1, and turn 2 you want to play like an Acidic Swarm boost to get rid of your opponent's weapon, and yeah, you can play Control Rogue. But there's better cards for Control Rogue in this set, so probably won't see match play. That's what it looks like. Socket Sapper, Death Rattle, return a random enemy minion to your opponent's hand. This card is crazy good. It's a 4 mana 4/4, it's a pirate, and it's a death rattle. All of which Rogue very much likes. One thing you can consider is the fact that Necreum Vial is still in standard, so if it's turn 9, your opponent has some really crazy stuff on the board, you can play Saket Sapper, then you can play Necreum Vial, and you can return 2 random enemy minions to your opponent's hand. Which is still worse than Sap card economy-wise, but you get a minion on the board as well. No, not card economy-wise, mana-wise. Bazaar, Mugger, Rush, Battlecry, add a random minion from another class to your hand. Pretty good. That's all I can say, pretty good. It all depends on the card this generates. Which, I mean, it's a pretty decent card. 5 mana for 3/5 with Rush is decent stats. This card will see play and constructed in the Rogue quest. World Kickmaster, whenever you play a combo card and a random combo card to your hand. So basically, if you eviscerate your opponent's face, get an eviscerate, get an eviscerate, get an eviscerate, get an eviscerate, and appear on Trollden or something like that. A lot of combo cards are expensive, however, I need to stress this, because if you're like, oh hey, I'm going to go off today, World Kickmaster into, like, Defias Ringleader, and then this thing generates you Kidnapper, which is 6 mana, so you're going to waste the rest of your turn. But this card is still really good value if you can hoard up a bunch of things like Cold Blood or the aforementioned Defias Ringleader. This card is very confusing whether it will actually see play in Standard or Wilds because it has very niche use. Shadow of Death. Choose a minion, shuffle 3 shadows into your deck that summon a copy when drawn. This card is absolutely crazy and will see play in many, many decks. Especially Leroy, because Rogue loves shuffling things into decks. And since it shuffles things into decks, it kind of counters Bomb Warrior in a soft kind of way. But yeah, getting free Leroys, or just any big minion that Rogue can sheet onto the board really quickly with its Kobold, whatever, Illusionist. I'll definitely be playing this card in my big Rogue deck, if no one else will anyway. Summon 8/0. Quality. Anchor the Buried. Battlecry. Change each death rattle in your hand to 1/1 that cost 1. This card is going to be used for Mechathune and maybe Carnivorous Cube. That's pretty much it. It's a combo card. I can't really judge it unless I know the other cards, but Mechathune kind of requires Rogue to stay alive. Bizarre Burglary. Add 4 cards from other classes to your hand. Reward Ancient Blades. Ancient Blades is a 2 mana hero power, a 3/2 blade with immune while attacking. It's like Shadow Blade, except it's better in some cases, worse in others. So yeah, you may have noticed that it's really easy to add cards from other classes to your hand. Say, for example, the Clever Disguise just adds 2 to your hand for 2 mana, which means you complete half your quest by turn 2. This quest is really easy to complete, and maybe it'll push Aggro Thief Rogue, because having an infinite supply of 3/2 weapons is actually really good. There's a reason people play Fiery Win-Axe, and they called it Fiery Win-Axe because 2 mana for a 3/2 is really good, especially when you don't take any damage while attacking minions. Mirage Blade. Totemic Surge gives your totems +2 attack. Oh, sorry, was I supposed to say anything? I have no words for garbage like this. Evil Totem. At the end of your turn, add a lackey to your hand. It's a win more lackey generator. This card may see play. You never know. Adding lackeys to your hand is generally a good thing. If nothing else, it's an evil cable rat that doesn't die to a ping. Sandstorm Elemental, 2 mana, 2/2, Battlecry, deal 1 damage to all enemy minions, overload 1. It's like Maelstrom Portal, except it gives you a 2/2 minion always, but it overloads you. This card will most likely see play in Wild, in even Shaman, because that is a deck that already exists. Pretty good. This card will most likely see play in Constructor as well, because it's a Battlecry and it'll synergize with Shadow Walk, help you clear the opponent's board. Urbanized Wasp. Battlecry, if you control a lackey, deal 3 damage. I mean, we have ways of generating lackeys for Shaman. True. Sludge Slurper is always played in most decks. This card will probably see some play, and 3 damage is nothing to scoff at on turn 3, especially when it's on a 3/3. Earthquake, deal 5 damage to all minions, then deal 2 damage to all minions. It does 7 damage to all minions and kills some sticky death rattle minions. This is just fairly decent. I believe this card was just an assassin sent out to kill Token Druid. So yeah, this card will most likely see play, and if not, it'll be generated by Hagatha. Mogu Flesh Shaper. 7 mana, 3/4 rush, costs 1 less for each minion on the battlefield. This monster is definitely managed to mangle the Malfurion Masturbatorium. Yeah, that's all I can come up with. 7 mana, 3/4 is garbage stats, of course, but it has rush, so it immediately impacts the board, and you can use, what was the name of the card? Mutate, which will turn this into a random 8-cost minion for free, which, of course, will most likely have better stats than 3/4. Plague of Murlocs, transform all minions into random Murlocs. This card is something, can be used with Earthquake, which will literally always clear the board. But yeah, this card is specifically made to assassinate Big Priest, which I heavily approve of. I may start running Control Shaman in Wild just to kill Big Priest with Plague of Murlocs, because it not only does it drench the opponent's graveyard, it just transforms everything, so your opponent can't get those minions back. Splitting Axe, 4 mana, 3/2, Battlecry, summon copies of your totems. So what good totems do we have currently in Standard? We have Evil Totem. Yeah, that's literally it. Actually, no, we have Nightmare Amalgam, which also counts the totem. So if you play Nightmare Amalgam on 3 and Splitting Axe on 4, you get an extra 3/4, or how much stats the Amalgam still has, which is pretty good. In Wild, you have Totem Golem, of course, which this card is even. It can be played in Even Shaman, and Even Shaman likes to summon shitty totems all the time, so this card will most likely see play in Even Shaman in Wild. Vecina, while you're overloaded, your other minions have +2 attack. This is another card that will see play in Even Shaman in Wild, because Even Shaman likes to overload on its even turns, so it doesn't have to use all its mana on odd turns, because it can't use them anyway. Well, I mean it can, but it doesn't need to. It's like Savage Roar, except it's constant when you're overloaded, and it's on a 2/6 body. Yep, this card is really good. Corrupt the Waters, quest, play 6 Battlecry cards. Reward is Heart of Vernal, which is a 2 mana, and your battle cries trigger twice this turn. If this card were 1 mana cheaper, you could use it with Shudderwalk, but you can't, which is, I guess, what everyone is thankful for, because Shudderwalk is still in Standard. Yep, this is just Shudderwalk Shaman support, really. You can use it with Life Drinker to steal 6 health from your opponent. You can use it with Nightblade, deal 6 damage to your opponent. You can use it with Fire Elemental, deal 6 damage to your opponent. Yeah, you get it. Just deal 6 damage to your opponent. Do it! Plus, you can generate lackeys with, like, Evil Cable Rat. You'll get 2 lackeys, and those lackeys' battle cries will be doubled as well. It's pretty good. It's like a instant brand. Sinister Deal. Warlock. 1 mana. Discover a lackey. Boring. Evil Recruiter. Battlecry. Destroy a friendly lackey to summon a 5/5 demon, which makes this a 3 mana 7/7 gain, that is, because you're of course killing a 1/1. Yep, this card is going to be insane. It's going to be playing everywhere in Warlock. It just has too much stats to not see play. And that's the Evil Demon. Pretty sick. It reminds me of Steve's Old Shredder with the big mouth. Neverset Thrasher. Whenever this attacks, deal 3 damage to your hero. It's a 3 mana 4/5. And this card will most likely see play for one reason. Oh, what? It went from the 3 mana card to 1 mana card. Okay, it'll see play for a reason of another card that we'll see really soon. Plague of Flames. Destroy all your minions. For each one, destroy a random enemy minion. This sounds like garbage because it isn't that easy to flood the board, is what you'd think, but with Refarm Scheme being able to summon 7 1/1 imps for 3 mana, Plague of Flames will be able to clear your opponent's board for 4 mana. You can kill everything. It's pretty good. Expired Merchant, Battlecry, discard the greatest Dynamancer, Death Rattle, win the game. I'm just joking, but yeah, discard your highest cost card and Death Rattle, add 2 copies of it to your hand. This card is batshit insane, because it generates a lot of value, and how are you going to stop it? You're going to hex it? You're going to polymorph it? Well, tough titties, because it has 1 health, and Warlock likes playing Mortal Coil, so if you're playing Mage or Shaman, your opponent, the Warlock, is just going to kill their own minion to get a lot of value. What card would they duplicate? Well, 10 mana cards will of course be chosen first. Or Giants, maybe. Actually, I'm pretty sure Giants will not have that high cost. So, yeah, you're going to see Bloodreaver Gul'dan in Wild. You're going to see N'Zoth in Wild. You're going to see Mal'Ganis in Wild. And getting a lot of those means that Warlock will pretty much just thrash every deck that it can face, apart from maybe Big Priest. But Big Priest is overpowered, so we don't care about them. And in Standard, you can just generate late-game cards really easily. There's really no downside to playing this card. It's garbage. 10 out of 10. Imperfection. Oh, sorry, I'm a bit imbalanced. Destroy a minion, shuffle 3 worthless imps in your deck. This has synergy with Reform, and pretty much nothing else. It's still a 4-mana destroy a minion, though. Worthless imps. So this is the reason Nephset Thrasher will see play. Diseased Vulture, 4-mana 3/5. After your hero takes damage on your turn, summon a random 3-cost minion. Unlike Vex Crow before it, Diseased Vulture cannot summon Doomsayer. So, it's already a lot better. So 4-mana 3/5, Nephset Thrasher attacks with its 4/5 stat line. Summon a random 3-cost minion, take 3 damage. Now, there's one downside with this, and that's if you're playing against Priest with their really good quest, they can heal you really easily, which means they can complete their quest really easily, but honestly, would you really care about that if you're flying the board with tokens? And actually, 3-cost minions aren't really tokens, they're strong enough on their own. Ugh. It's good. Rift Cleaver. 6-mana, 7/5, Battlecry, cast Obliterate. That's pretty much what this is, and Obliterate is a really good card. So, yep, most likely going to see some play. Maybe a finisher in tempo decks. It does have the stats to back it up, of course. Takan. Battlecry, for the rest of the game, your lackeys are 4/4. That's pretty good with all the lackey generation that Warlock has. Yep, this is just a good card. Maybe a bit weak statted, but doesn't matter. Supreme Archaeology, quest, draw 20 cards, reward, Tome of Origination. Tome of Origination is a 2-mana hero power, draw a card, it costs 0. This of course also has synergy with Reform. Once Reform has been played, Tome of Origination will draw you a legendary for free. And this quest has synergy with Plot Twist, which shuffles your hand into your deck, and then you draw that many cards that you shuffle back in. So if you have 10 cards in your hand, you're going to cast 1 for the Plot Twist, but then you're going to draw 9 cards, so you're going to complete about half your quest. It's going to be really easy to complete. It of course will bundle down to whether you can draw Reform after completing the quest though, otherwise it may not work out for you. Frightened Flunky. Taunt, Battlecry, discover a taunt minion. This card is crazy, it's like Stonehill Defender, but better. It's for Warrior specifically as well. Which means it'll discover... Actually no, it'll just discover class cards anyway. It may even just be a 2-mana 2/2 taunt with Echo, because it can discover itself, and you can play it again. Restless Mummy, 4-mana 3/2, Rush, Reborn. It's like that Militia Commander, except it does 3 damage twice instead of 5 damage once, and then 2 damage after. Everyone just used Militia Commander for the 5 damage though, so Restless Mummy may see play. Won't be a spectacular card though. Boulder Fist Ogre, 6-mana 6/7 Ogre. Whenever your hero attacks, gain Ogre. This card is actually pretty decent with the quest, but I don't know if you'll see play, because Warrior doesn't really need cards like these. Into the Fray, give all taunt minions in your hand, +2/+2. Yay! Too low impact. Plague of Wrath, 5 mana, destroy all damaged minions. It's like Sleeping with the Fishes, except it destroys them, so just dealing 3 damage. Will this see play is the question. The answer is... maybe. It has synergy with Dr. Boom, which is the most important thing. Dr. Boom, of course, has the hero power which does 1 damage to all enemy characters, and then you can play this, and you've cleared your opponent's board for 7, and your board is untouched. Pretty good. Tomb Warden, 8 mana, 3/6 taunt, Battlecry, summon a copy of this minion. It is a copy, not another Tomb Warden. Also, it's a mech, so yeah, it has synergy with Dr. Boom as well, which is also very important. So this card has serious synergy with hand buffs, more specifically with a card we're going to see later on. Most importantly, it's going to gain Rush, and it's going to be discovered off Dr. Boom's hero power, so you're going to see a lot of these. It's going to be really annoying, and it's going to be really strong. Blood Mercenary, Battlecry, choose a damage-friendly minion, summon a copy of it. This card is crazy, and it can be used in lots of combos. It's a 3-mana 3/3 if nothing else. I mean, just play it. Just play the card. Don't right-click. Jesus. Livewire Lance, 3-mana 2/2. After your hero attacks, add a lackey to your hand. This card doesn't seem that good, but it really is, because 3 mana for a 2/2 weapon is decent. 3 mana for a 3/2 weapon is the bog standard, apparently, now. And this has synergy with the quest, which you won't play, but I'm just going to say it anyway. Armageddillo, 6 mana, 4/7, taunt. At the end of your turn, give all taunt minions in your hand +2/+2. Guess what? This is a taunt minion. It can be discovered off Frightened Flunky. It can buff up your Ziliax. It's not a mech, but a lot of mechs have taunt, such as the Tomb Warden we discussed earlier. So yep, this card is crazy good. See it a lot in Arena. Hack the system. Manually, it seems. Attack 5 times with your hero. Reward. And Raffet's Core. And that summons a 4/3 Golem, and after your hero attacks, you can refresh it. What's the Golem? It's just a Golem. It's not a mech. If it was a mech, maybe it would see some more play, but it's not. This is okay, but Dr. Boom Mad Genius has the best hero power in the game currently, so you probably won't be playing this because Dr. Boom is just too strong. Maybe this will see play once Dr. Boom is out of standard. Jar Dealer, 1 mana, 1/1, Death Rattle, add a random 1 cost minion to your hand. It's a recursive 1 mana minion, it has synergy with Magic Carpet, it's decent. Nothing more, nothing less. Mermy, 1 mana, 1/1, Murloc with Reborn. This card will see play in Murloc decks and maybe the Paladin Quest deck. It's okay. 1 mana for a 1/1 that Death Rattle summons a 1/1. Has seen play before. A lot of decks still run Mecharoo, and Warlocks, even in Wild. Actually, that's the only place they can really run that card, but yes, Possessed Villager, which is a 1 mana 1/1 Death Rattle summon a 1/1, still sees play in Wild, so yeah, this card will most likely see a fair bit of play. Bug Collector, Battlecry, summon a 1/1 Locust with Rush. It's 2 mana 2/1, and this is basically just Hench Clan Hogsteed except reversed, where the 1/1 has Rush, and you keep a 2/1 instead of the 2/1 having Rush, and you keep a 1/1. It's an Arena card. And we don't need to see the Locust token every fucking time, you moron. Fishflinger, 2 mana 3/2, Battlecry, add a random Murloc to each player's hand. This is much better for you since you're playing Murlocs and will have Murloc synergy. Plus, if you're playing aggressive, giving your opponent a Murloc really does not do anything. Injured Tolvia, 2 mana 2/6 taunt, Battlecry to deal 3 damage to this minion. Ugh, pack filler garbage. Kobold Sandtrooper, 2 mana 2/1, Death Rattle, deal 3 damage to the enemy hero. Pack filler. In fact, it's pretty much just like Backstreet Leper, except slightly better. But that card's all no play, so who cares? Serpent Egg, 2 mana 0/3, Death Rattle, summon a 3/4 Sea Serpent. It's a worse Nerubian Egg. Nothing more to say. It's a beast. It has some synergy with beast stuff, if it matters, which it doesn't. Tall Berserker, 2 mana 1/2, Reborn, has +2 attack while damage. This card is actually pretty good, considering the fact that since it's Reborn, it'll have only 1 health, so it'll come back as a 3/1 if it just dies immediately. Which is decent, I guess, for a 2 mana minion. Pretty good value, I guess. May see some play. Vile Fiend, 2 mana 2/2 Lifesteal. It's a demon. It's a nerf to Bane of Doom, and that's literally all it is. Candle Taker, 3 mana 3/2 Reborn. It's like Harvest Golem except aggressive. Bone Wraith, 4 mana 2/5 Taunt with Reborn. It's garbage. You want to run this card? I have a little recommendation for you for a card called Proud Defender. Run that instead. Faceless Lurker, I talked about this card before. Taunt, Battlecry, double this minion's health. Has synergy with the Priest Legendary, and it has synergy with Armageddillo. So, you'll expect to see this card a fair amount. It can be discovered off the Flunky guy, but yeah, this card's pretty good. It passes the test. Phalanx Commander, your taunt minions have +2 attack. This may see some play in Taunt Warrior, but I doubt it. It just doesn't have enough power on its own. Wasteland Assassin, this card is pretty good. 5 mana, 4/2, Stealth, Reborn, which means that once it dies and comes back, it'll have Stealth again. So, it can deal 4 damage, it dies, and you can deal 4 damage again. Unless your opponent has, like, any board clear, which this will die, but this card may see some play in some niche decks. Wasteland Scorpion, 7 mana, 3/9 Poisonous. It's +1/+1 on my Ixnay, which was garbage anyway, so it doesn't matter. Anubis Death Warbringer, 9 mana, 9/6 Death Rattle. Give all minions in your hand +3/+3. This card may see some play in a deck that runs a lot of Death Rattle minions and can cheat things out, like Big Rogue, except I'm not going to play it because stats really don't matter in Big Rogue. What matters is the effects, that's literally it. Living Monument, 10 mana, 10/10 Taunt. This card will absolutely not see any play in Standard. It's garbage. Deficit Ritualist. Oh, was that the last neutral? Yeah, okay, normal. Deficit Ritualist, 2 mana, 2/3, Battlecry, restore adjacent minions to full health. This is pretty good in Arena, but nowhere else really. Questing Explorer, 2 mana, 2/3, Battlecry. If you control a quest, draw a card. This card will see play in 90% of quest decks, and the other 10% are driven by idiots who don't know that drawing a card is really good on a 2 mana, 2/3. Generous Mummy, 3 mana, 5/4, Reborn. Your opponent's cards cost 1 less. Why? Why would you run this? You wouldn't. 3 mana, 2/3, Infested Goblin. Taunt. Death Rattle, add 2 1/1 Scarabs to your hand with Taunt. This has synergy with Armadillo because it generates tokens which can be buffed by Armadillo. So, it may see some play. It will definitely see play in Wild because it gives them to your hand, so you can play the Warrior Quest, play this, which counts as 1, and then you can play 2 1/1s for easy. And it's not the old art for Scarab. Conjure Mirage, 4 mana, 3/10! Taunt. At the start of your turn, shuffle this minion into your deck, so it's garbage. Don't play it. Sunstruck Henchman, 4 mana, 6/5. At the start of your turn, this is a 50% chance to full sleep. Which just means this card cannot attack. Yep, 50% chance to not be able to attack on any turn. It's at the start of your turn, and it's trash. Yeah. Katut Defender. 6 mana, 3/4, Taunt, Reborn, Death Rattle, restore 3 health to your hero. This is just a shit ton of keywords. I will be playing this in Big Rogue because it is kind of better than Rotten Apple Bomb, which is a card that I've been running in Big Rogue because Big Rogue kind of needs healing, otherwise it will die to aggro, which is Big Rogue's worst matchup. And getting this from a Kobold Illusionist or a Barnes means that it will come back with 3 attack instead of 1, and it will heal more health than Rotten Apple Bomb. Wrapped Golem, 7 mana, 7/5, Reborn. At the end of the turn, summon a 1/1 Scarab with Taunt. Does anyone remember Obsidian Destroyer, the 7 mana 7/7 that at the end of your turn summoned a 1/1 Scarab with Taunt? It's like this, except this doesn't die in 1 hit. Yeah. Mogu Cultist. Ooh, getting to the exciting stuff now. Battlecry, if your board is full of Mogu Cultists, sacrifice them all and summon Highkeeper Ra. What is Highkeeper Ra? 10 mana, 20/20. At the end of your turn, deal 20 damage to all enemies. This is like the ancient one, except it actually has an immediate impact, and it is really good. So, how are you going to get 6 Mogu Cultists onto the board at once, and then summon a 7th one? The answer? Togwaggle Scheme, attack Nozzwhisker. It's easy as that. Get those 2, do the combo, and you fill your hand with Mogu Cultists. And then you can just use them. Pretty easy. Dwarven Archaeologist. After you discover a card, reduce its cost by 1. I guarantee someone will find a degenerate combo with this card and will be really sick of it really easily. Hell, you can use this with Magic Trick. You can Dwarven Archaeologist into Magic Trick, into Primordial Glyph, into a 4-cost card for free. Yeah, it's good. Use it. History buff, 3 mana, 3/4. Whenever you play a minion, give a random minion in your hand +1/+1. Sounds good, but this requires you to play a lot of minions, which means you'll lose value. Like, why? Maybe you can play this in Rogue with a bunch of lackey generation, but it doesn't sound too good to me. Mischief Maker, 3 mana, 3/3 Battlecry. Swap the top card of your deck with your opponents. This is a very high risk card. You could give your opponent something really bad or really good, and you could get something really bad or really good. If your opponent's playing a combo deck, you may just steal your opponent's win condition, which could be good, or you could give your opponent a Death Knight. Playing at your own discretion, I really can't rate this card. It's very puzzling. Volpera Scoundrel, 3 mana, 2/3 Battlecry. Discover a spell or pick a mystery choice. Yes, they misspelled this card. They're fucking papagas. So you can either discover a spell or you can get a random one to your hand. Probably not good enough to see play. Yeah, mystery choice. Body Wrapper, Battlecry. Discover a friendly minion that died this game. Shuffle it into your deck. Probably not that good unless you can discover Highkeeper Ra or some token that is really strong. Desert Obelisk. If you control 3 of these, the end of your turn deals 5 damage to the enemy hero. Yep, just don't. Mortuary Machine, 5 mana, 8/8. Really good stats. After your opponent plays a minion, give it Reborn. It's a mech, so it has some synergy with mechs. You can attach Ziliax to it and basically succeed against aggro all the time. May see some play. Not high on hopes because it has Reborn, and if you give Reborn to a taunt minion, then you pretty much kind of screw yourself. Now coming up is the one card in the set that makes it so that you want to run a Singleton or Highlander deck. Zephyrs the Great, 2 mana, 3/2 Battlecry. If your deck has no duplicates, wish for the perfect card. Now, what does wish for the perfect card mean? It means that Blizzard has implemented an AI into the game that scans the board, your opponent's hand, their deck, pretty much everything, and gives you exactly the perfect card for that situation. So, you basically don't know what this is unless you've actually tested it yourself, but I've seen footage of this card being tested. What it does is, say for example, your opponent's playing Token Druid. They have a bunch of like 3/4s on the board, you have 10 mana, you play Zephyrs the Great. He is going to generate you a Flame Strike, 100% of the time, and it's a discover, not a actual just generate, so you actually get to choose. I don't know why you wouldn't want Flame Strike, but hey, you do you. So yep, you can just straight up grab a Flame Strike. Your opponent has like a Lich King on the board, Zephyrs the Great will grab you fucking Black Knight. If your opponent has like, say, 6 health left, you play Zephyrs, he's gonna give you a Fireball, he's gonna give you lethal. The only downside with this card is that he is strictly limited to cards in the basic and classic set, so he cannot generate you new cards. Which kind of sucks, but then again, all you really need is him. If, like, there is so much use for him. He can save the game. Like, if you have 7 mana, you play him, you're about to die, he'll probably generate you Ziliax. Like, so much he can do. It's crazy. In fact, maybe he can even generate... Actually, no, he can't, never mind. He can't generate Ziliax because it's a fucking Boomsday card. I forget that card isn't a basic card despite the fact it's in every deck. But yeah, this card is like a 10 out of 10 card. As long as your opponent isn't playing Bomb Warrior. Siamat, 7 mana, Battlecry, gain 2 of Rush, Taunt, Divine Shield, or Wind Fury. Your choice. And it's a 6/6. So what's going to happen with this card is you're going to play the Shaman Quest, you're going to use it, and then you're going to gain Rush, then Taunt, then Divine Shield, then Wind Fury, and you're going to have a guy that does everything. Then you're going to clear the board, and you're going to do the same for Shutterwalk. This is like Ziliax. Ziliax is mostly just used for the Divine Shield and Rush anyway, so yep, pretty good. These are what they look like. Octosari, 8 mana, 8/8, Death Rattle, draw 8 cards. You want 8 of these in your deck. So, this is very interesting because 8 cards is usually too many. Unless you're playing a very, very aggressive deck and you can take in Octosari to refill your hand, But that's most likely not going to happen. It may, but it's probably not. But then again, in aggro, it doesn't really matter if you draw and overdraw, because you're going to kill your opponent really soon anyway. Final card, I believe. No, it's not final card, there's one left. Colossus of the Moon. 10 mana, 10/10 Divine Shield with Reborn. It's a 10 mana, 10/10. If you kill it, it comes back with 1 health and still has Divine Shield, and it's got 10 attack. It's very dangerous. It may be seen in Big Priest. No idea though. I may try and run a Big Rogue as well, because this card just has potential. Just being a really strong guy. Oh yeah, there's King Phaeorus. No, he's not the last card. There's a 1 mana card. Battlecry. For each spell in your hand, summon a random minion of the same cost. So if you're playing big Spell Mage in Wild, you're going to run this card, you're going to fill the board with random crap, and you're going to win. It's a nerf to Evolves as well. Beaming Sidekick. 1 mana, 1/2 Battlecry, give a friendly minion plus 2 health. It's a zoo card. Looks fucking awful though. Look at this. What the hell is this hair? Ugh, I can't tell if it's like a chemotherapy patient or something like that. Just, oh, that face. Who did the art on that? Sue them. Spinning Camel, 2 mana, 2/4. At the end of your turn, deal 1 damage to another random friendly. Blatant Decoy. 6 mana, 5/5. Death Rattle. Each player summons the lowest cost minion from their hand. So basically, this thing dies and your opponent summons a Doomsayer. Hooray. Yep. This card may see some play in Big Priest, because it just has so much synergy. Your opponent doesn't care about you getting minions. Pit Crocolisk, 8 mana, 5/6. Battlecry, deal 5 damage. You know what? I would say this card is garbage, but with the Shaman Quest, this card turns into it turns into a Pyroblast that summons a 5/6. That's 1 health better than Naga Sandwich, and costs you only 1 card. Golden Scarab, 3 mana, 2/2. Battlecry, discover a 4-cost card. Remember Jeweled Scarab, the 2 mana 1/1 discovers a 3-cost card? I can't wait until they get like Diamond Scarab, which is a 4 mana 3/3 that discovers a 5-cost card. This card may see play, because it's a Battlecry. Desert Hare, Battlecry, summon 2 1/1 Desert Hares. Yeah, there is a better card. It's called Micro Technician, or whatever it is, which is a 3 mana 2/1 that summons 2/1 Microbots, which are mechs. And mechs are better than beasts, so this card is garbage. And that's it. I hope you enjoy this review. So, what is my prediction of the meta? Priest. It's going to be Priest. A lot of Priest. And probably just Warrior. But, yeah. That's it. Hope you enjoy. Goodbye.